Speaking of China, it's been so aggressive to Australia. Last month, for instance, the Prime Minister announced yet another cyber attack on Australia without publicly saying it was actually China.
This activity is targeting Australian organisations across a range of sectors, including all levels of government, industry, political organisations, education, health, essential service providers and operators of other critical infrastructure.
But now the United States has charged two Chinese nationals, people still in China, so they probably won't face courts, with cyber theft, hacking, stealing secrets from around the world, including Australia, and then selling them to Chinese intelligence agencies.
The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Washington, the National Security Division have charged two Chinese hackers working with the Chinese Ministry of State Security. China is using cyber intrusions as part of its rob, replicate, and replace strategy to technological development.
Now, the charges include these two hackers last year stealing source codes and information manuals from an unnamed Australian defence contractor, which is a real worry. Meanwhile, our federal police are stepping up their investigation into what influence China may have had on a New South Wales Labor MP, Shaukat Mosulman, who's been one of China's biggest and most shameless apologists.
China has longed for greatness. The greatness cannot be achieved if the rules of the game continues to favour its opponents. So the rules have to change. The only way for China to reach its potential is for China to force a change to the rules and create a new world order.
Joining me is a long-time federal Labor MP, now retired, Michael Danby, who's also been a long-time critic of China. Michael, great to catch up with you again. Mosulman says he's innocent, he says police are investigating his staffer, not one of his staffers, not himself. But Labor has suspended him. Should it actually sack him?
I think Jody Mackay, the leader of the opposition, has got to act. I believe he's sort of collecting a petition in some of the Shiite mosques in New South Wales to say that he's being attacked because he is of Islamic origin. I think that's really not correct. Of course, a person is innocent. That's the benefit of the kind of society that Mr. Mosulman is a member of until proven guilty, and an investigation doesn't prove that you're guilty. But, you know, the ASIO and AFP people who've been to his office, he's claimed parliamentary privilege. They can't take out copies of his documents. The Speaker of the New South Wales Parliament, or the clerk of the Speaker, has said that they can go in and look at those documents. But I think if everything's above board, he should give those documents up. He's not my favourite MP. He and another one out in Granville speak under Hezbollah flags. That's not something someone in the right of the Labor Party, which both of them are associated with, should do. Labor is not in favour of terrorist organisations, and I really think Shaukat Mosulman's time has come. It's inevitable what's going to happen with this, Andrew. Surely he's going to bite the dust. It's a question of whether the New South Wales Labor Party rises to the task and does it themselves. They should clean their own house. And let's put it more even strongly than that, Andrew. In Melbourne, every member of the Labor Party has lost their rights because Adam Somyurek was on 60 Minutes using foul language towards women and being involved in branch stackings. Shock, horror, gasp. But New South Wales, who's had Sam Dastyari, two General Secretaries of the Labor Party have appeared before ICAC, and now Shaukat Mosulman, all of them to do with China, nothing happens to them. There should be federal intervention in the New South Wales branch of the Labor Party to clean the whole lot out. It's not just a matter of Mosulman, it's the whole gang there need to be examined. Now, there are many good people there, and I'm sure if there was federal intervention, the good people would come out.
Well, I was going to ask you, Michael, why New South Wales Labor has tolerated Mosulman for so long, but when you were saying that in order to avoid punishment for being so closely linked to the Chinese dictatorship is taking up a petition in mosques claiming he's a victim of anti-Muslim sentiment. I think we know exactly why Labor tolerated him. He's an ethnic warlord, in a sense, mustering ethnic votes for Labor. Meanwhile, Michael, there are reports... Well, I just want to get on something else before I run out of time, Michael. This is important and an issue that you've been concerned with for some time. There are reports that at least 200,000 face masks are being sold in Australia that were allegedly made in China by Uyghur Muslims who are effectively in concentration camps. So this is a kind of slave labour. What should Australians do about this?
No Australian who's got a human heart should buy one of those masks that's made in China. The footage of some heroic person took by drone of all of those poor Uyghur people being shackled and led onto trains is shameful. It has allegories to the Second World War, and what's happening over there is a crime against humanity, and anything that anyone can do here to disassociate themselves from China's activities with the Uyghurs ought to be done. I've been a friend of Rabi'a Kadir, the leader of the Uyghur people, for many years, just like the Dalai Lama. They are Turkic people. They are not terrorists, and the actions being taken against them are indefensible. The Chinese ambassador was grilled on the BBC yesterday about that terrible footage, but it shows very interestingly, Andrew, that someone is sending that footage out. So there is resistance in China.
You're quite right. Whoever did that is as brave as that guy that stood in front of the tanks at Tiananmen Square. And I also pick up your reference to World War II. I do feel sometimes that we're in a period of 1930s Europe, not believing quite that the dictator means what he says and is the menace that that eyewitnesses should tell you that he is. Michael Danby, thank you so much indeed for your time.